Hello and welcome back to Recreational Runner. So this is the week that I am truly embarking on the Dr. Phil Maffetone way of doing my heart rate running. So this is the book that I've spoken about last week. So it's the Maffetone Method, the holistic, low stress, no pain way to exceptional fitness by Dr. Philip Maffetone. So I've had to jump to page 60, 57 onwards is the chapter, to look at the formula. So I've been using the Tanaka formula, which is based on 220 method, minus your age times 0.6, I think. And then I rounded to around 140. I was about 139 for 77% of my maximum heart rate using that formula. But for this one, you don't actually work out your maximum. You work out this gives you your maximum, which is the 70% for your maximum aerobic threshold. And it's all about training in your aerobic base. So you're building up your base, your stamina, and you're burning fat more efficiently as well. So that's great for me because I want to get rid of this. But it means I've got to slow down more because 180 minus my age, which is 43, plus there's 1, 2, 3, 4 extra bits, which I'll just read out to you. So if you're recovering from a major illness, heart disease, any operation, any hospital stay, etc., or if you are on any regular medication, subtract an additional 10 beats per minute. If you have not exercised before, have exercised irregularly, have been exercising with an injury, have regressed in training or competition, get more than 2 colds or cases of flu per year, or have allergies or asthma, subtract an additional 5 beats per minute. If you have been exercising regularly at least 4 times weekly for up to 2 years without any of the above mentioned problems, use the 180 minus age number exactly as it comes out. If you're a competitive athlete and have been training for more than 2 years without any of the above mentioned problems and have made progress in competition without an injury, add 5. So out of those 4, the closest one that I fall into is, it's not that I haven't exercised before, but I've been irregular, definitely, with my training. Exercising with an injury, if we look back at my January challenge, the Red January challenge, I had a knee niggle for most of January and it did move into February and I still felt it in March as well. So I would safely say I've been exercising with an injury. Regressed in training or competition? Definitely regressed in competition, definitely regressed in training. So if we go back 3 years ago, 4 years ago was my prime, but even 3 years ago, my training's gone backwards from that as well. More than 2 colds or cases of flu per year. Obviously we've been in lockdown, so I've been pretty good, but if we weren't in lockdown, anyone will tell you I get a lot of colds. And have allergies or asthma, I have hay fever. Mild hay fever, I get itchy eyes and a bit of a sore throat, and it does affect my breathing on really bad days. But other than that, I'm pretty good. But that is the one. I've got to subtract another 5 points. So essentially 180 minus my age, which is 43, minus 5, my beats per minute now are 132. So I've been going what I feel like super slow to get to 140, and I've done a couple of runs at 138 with no specific hills in them as well. So to do 132 is going to be a real concerted effort. I'm going to definitely be walking spells. Tonight it's pretty warm out there still. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but I'll update it with a graphic or something. But it's the start of a heat wave again here in the UK this week. It's Monday night. So I'm going to try and do 4 miles tonight because I need to up my mileage. I want to get to a 30-mile week within the next couple of weeks and see how I feel, and I might go on to do a 40-mile week after that. But the whole point of doing this method, I haven't read the book, the full book. I've read the introduction and a part of chapter 1 and then jumped to page 57. But the whole point is running longer with a low heart rate to build up that aerobic base and burn fat a lot more efficiently. So it makes you a better endurance runner overall. I'm sure there's stuff in here about introducing speed work at a later date, but it's all about patience. Running this slow is going to be difficult, 100%. Already trying to stay 140 has been pretty tricky. Having to walk when you hit a hill and stuff like that, it's not natural for us runners. You start thinking about what other people think a lot. Like I was coming up a hill with John at the weekend and I went up to 150, 155 and I was like, I've got to walk. And loads of cars went past and some pedestrians and people on bikes. And initially I was like, oh God, I'm meant to be running. And they're probably thinking, look at him walking. But then I thought, why do I care what other people think that I don't even know? It's a long-term approach to improving my running and staying injury free. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So that's it. Yeah, the Dr. Phil Maffetone Method. Great book. It's not that long actually. It's 180 odd pages. It's my kind of book. The quite big words on the page. So I'm going to get through it as quickly as I can, and I'm going to make notes, and I'm going to talk to you guys about it regularly. The things I pull from it. Right at the beginning, it's talking about having fun. If you are not having fun in your training, you're not doing it right, and you should stop doing it, essentially. And that's what this channel is all about. Have some fun, stay injury free, and get fitter. They're my 3 primary things at the moment. Pace I'm not worried about until lockdown's over, and maybe I want to try and do a half marathon PB again. But I think doing a good 6 months to a year of this training is going to help me do that a lot better than smashing out speed work. So I'm waffling. I'll cut this one short. I'm going to go out and do my run tonight, 4 miles in the heat, and I'll let you know how I get on. Happy running.
Hey everybody, guess what? I forgot to record the results of my run last night when I got back in. I can't remember why. There's just so much going on, showers, etc. But boy, 132 beats per minute is difficult. It's very difficult. I've got a feeling my watch, my TomTime watch, because it's a wrist-based heart rate monitor, the first 1.5 miles, every time I was running or jogging, it shot up to like 150, and then I'd stop and walk, and it would go down to like 110, 115. So I was up and down for the first 1.5 miles, and then I hit a hill, so I pretty much just had to walk up the hill anyway. It's a big long hill for about half a kilometre. So the first 1.5 miles, 1.6 miles even, were super frustrating. I was beginning to think, how am I going to cope with this? Because it was predominantly walking. But then I got into it. We got to the top of the hill, the watch seemed to settle down and stop spiking and dropping. And I ended up doing finishing the run of 4.18 miles in 49.51 seconds, the slowest I've ever run 4 miles before in my life. It's an average pace of 11:54 minute miles, but I hit 133 beats per minute, so I'm happy with that. But I'm not happy with the first 1.5 miles. I think now I've got that pace that averaged out across the whole run at 133 beats per minute. I think next time I go out, I'm going to set my watch on pace rather than heart rate, and just aim for a 12-minute mile pace to begin with, and see what happens after 1.5 miles to see whether my heart rate settles down. Because I think the watch is just, you go from not doing anything to going outside, and it was 21 degrees Celsius when I went outside, so perhaps my core body temperature was high and my heart rate just spiked as soon as I started moving, basically having been sat down at a PC all day. So yeah, I mean, overall though, it was tricky. It was tricky to stay so slow, effectively. And you start thinking about other people again. What are they thinking when they see you walking in all your running gear? But I think I'm going to stick to it, because I actually, by the end of it, really enjoyed it. When you hit flat bits and I got into a rhythm, it felt okay. Downhills obviously got to pick up speed a little bit as well. So it's only run 1. You're meant to do this for 6 to 12 months, so let's keep going. Happy running.